Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
What the hell was that? Good evening, everybody. My name's Ty Dilello here at Game Over Winnipeg. As we recap tonight's very tough, very depressing game between the Winnipeg Jets and the Florida Panthers tonight. Florida, of course, winning 5-0 in a Jets game that was very bad from their standards for sure. I think it probably reminded a lot of us of some Winnipeg Jets playoff elimination games of the past. It was a game that we were not in at all. So, Sergei Bobrovsky got the shutout for Florida tonight. The goals came from Maki Samsakiewicz, Nate Schmidt got a goal, Evan Rodriguez, Alexander Barkov, shorthanded, and Kulikov, another former Jet, I believe that was shorthanded as well. Not great. Hellebuck made, sorry, I'm still sick. Hellebuck made 26 saves in the losing effort. He played the full 60 minutes, while his counterpart, Sergei Bobrovsky, made 27 saves for the shutout. Before we get going, title sponsor. Had a cough for like a week since this curling event, and I'm still struggling with this a little bit, so bear with me tonight. Hyperdrive Hockey. Check out the flagship show of the Game Over Network on the Game Over Network channel. Hyperdrive Hockey, all things hockey, across various leagues in multiple countries. Whatever it is and wherever it is, Max, Daphne, and Kev. 1 second while I cough. My apologies. Max, Daphne, and Kev have you covered for all of your hockey news with a steady dose of fun and fan engagement. You can find Hyperdrive Hockey on the Game Over Network YouTube channel, wherever you get your favorite podcast from, or on the Hyperdrive Hockey page at thegameovernetwork.com. Tonight's Jets, as I said at the outset of the show, a very similar type performance to a lot of Jets playoff games. I felt like it was extremely frustrating for, I think, a lot of Jets fans, the home viewers, to watch tonight's games. I want to be critical, but at the same time, the team is still 15-3 on the season. But we can't, fall into these bad habits that the Jets showed. Tonight the Jets were very sluggish, weren't good along the boards, not good in their own end, giving up pucks, make a lot of costly mistakes. Give full marks to Florida. Florida played, a good, smart, fast game. But the Jets cannot be getting kind of blown out of the water, in games like this, plain and simple. For the Jets to be, one of the top teams in the National Hockey League, we have to be competitive every night. We have to be putting up a lot better showings than what we saw tonight. Tonight's game kind of felt like a lot of the Jets, the Jets of the old, a game where they kind of check out when things don't go their way. Once Florida got the second goal, I thought the ice kind of shifted even more in Florida's favor. So it was very, very, very frustrating to watch tonight. I'm trying to think whose Jets game I liked the most tonight, and I'm really struggling to put a name on somebody. For the second straight game, our top line, Connor Scheifele, Velarde, were, totally absent, 5-on-5, totally absent on the power play. They, it seemed like they never played with each other before tonight. And obviously that's not the case. They've had chemistry this year, but tonight, last game against Tampa, now tonight's game against Florida, it has not been good. They gave up a couple of 5-on-5 goals that were kind of indicative of some stuff last season, where they kind of fell into some bad habits. It is nice that the Jets get an extra day off. Had a Tuesday night's rematch with Florida back in Winnipeg. A game that Scott Arniel and the coaching staff are going to probably really make sure the Jets put a good effort for. They got to be a lot better. I think an extra practice day will help the Jets kind of find their footing again, finding their game. Paul Maurice in Florida seemed to have a pretty good game plan, as did John Cooper of Tampa last game, and they kind of put it on a tee and played a great game while Winnipeg was not able to kind of react to the game. They weren't able to, counterbalance, what Florida was doing, and it showed. It was just a very sloppy, it seemed like a top team being a bottom team in the NHL tonight, and it was kind of unexpected, just because the Jets were playing so well, but at the same time I kind of felt, a letdown like tonight was going to happen, especially after the Tampa performance, where I thought, that wasn't a great game either, but, surely not as bad as this one. And yeah, let's hit another ad read. LaRouche. Game Over Network is an independent production focused on community, inclusion, and quality people. If you're interested in supporting the Game Over Network, we have crowdfunding options available. In the description of this episode, you'll find a link to our Patreon page, and we're also working on a page through LaRouche, which is a crowdfunding platform for companies originating in Quebec. For LaRouche, we're aiming to raise $15,000, and if we hit that goal, we'll gain access to government grants that will allow us to employ more people. So if you have any ideas for what you'd like to see as giveaways from these crowdfunding efforts, sorry, really struggling with the cough tonight. If you're interested in any of these crowdfunding efforts, please let us know in the comments on Twitter, Instagram, our Discord server, or on the Blue Sky app, which is it's kind of like Twitter, but without all the crap. I kind of feel like a lot of our Game Over team has kind of migrated over to Blue Sky. I joined the other day, and I'm loving it. I've been able to get a lot of information out there. I'm going to still call them tweets, posts, whatever. It's really good. We have a lot of our Game Over team there, so please feel free to join Blue Sky. Give our team a follow, our Game Over page a follow, and you'll get all the up-to-date news, kind of what's going on, when our shows are going to be live, and whatnot after the game. You can find that all out there. We also have the Discord server, which is always growing. I think we have around 100 people now on that, and if you ever want to talk to myself or any of the other Game Over hosts from across the other Canadian cities, it's definitely a good place to come and talk shop, come talk some hockey. We're always available to, always able to talk. So I see that we don't have anybody watching again tonight. It's kind of the norm here, it seems, at Game Over Winnipeg, and especially after a 5-0 loss, I think a lot of fans are kind of maybe just want to tune out for a little bit, which is understandable. Now that we're in the second period, I kind of want to talk a little bit about the first line of our team, just kind of what I'm seeing. And again, I don't want us to maybe necessarily sound the alarms on anything about our team's game, just because we have had such a strong start to the season. We just gotta really stress the importance of had a bad game, park it, leave it. Make sure Tuesday night's not a bad game. Jets have now lost 2 in a row, albeit against 2 of the better teams in the National Hockey League, but getting outscored 9-1 in these 2 games now. Jets gotta be a lot better. They gotta be a lot better, and that starts with our big players. That starts with Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, and Gabriel Velarde. Um, they have to at least break even. 5-on-5 goals for, goals against. To be productive as a line. And these last two games, especially tonight, they were totally outclassed. Every time they stepped out on the ice, it seemed like they weren't able to generate any chances. They weren't making crisp passes. They weren't, putting together good scoring chances, good shots. It did not look good. I think Shifley and Connor had a pair of shots, and Velarde had one shot. I thought our best Jet tonight was probably Nikolai Ehlers. He had 5 shots tonight. He was kind of, he was buzzing at times. Had a couple chances. Ehlers had a couple. That second line had a couple of chances, 5-on-5 with Nemesnikov and Perfetti, but weren't able to find the back of the net. There was a stretch, either late in the first period. Florida was up 1-0 when the Jets hit a pair of posts in about a minute, including a Kyle Connor shot that just hit the post and went out. If one of those goals goes in, if we get a break there, maybe it's a different game. Maybe Florida, we're able to kind of stop Florida in the second period. Maybe, who knows? But we definitely didn't have any puck luck tonight. That's for sure. A couple of Florida's goals were kind of fluky, whatever, off a stick, off a butt, and in the net. So I think that kind of got Florida rolling, and then once they were rolling, they really, stepped on the Jets' neck tonight, and just cruised, to the 5-0 win. So with Shifley, Connor, and Velarde, I think a lot of fans need them to show up on Tuesday, have a good solid game, and just prove why they're a top first line in the National Hockey League. A lot of pundits don't pick the Jets for the reason that we don't have that top offensive talent. Those generational players that teams like Colorado and Edmonton are blessed with. We don't have like that that bona fide generational franchise player. We have it in net. Connor Hellebuck is a franchise player, no doubt. But just scores. We never had like a 100-point player, a guy that's is always very reliable. We've had Connor and Shifley who have been always our top scorers, but they always kind of peak out. It's just around like a point per game. Kyle Connor had that really good season where he had 97 points, I think. But they do well. This first line has done well in the past. For their power, the fact that they score on the power play as opposed to their 5-on-5. Connor, Shifley, and Velarde, when they played together last season especially, they were consistently outscored 5-on-5, which is that's not indicative of a top line in the National Hockey League. It's not. You're just not going to win. It hurts you. It hurts you more than helps you by putting those 3 players together. So the start of the season's been fine. They have not been. I think they've been pretty even actually, which still isn't great, but it's not in the minuses. I think coming into tonight they had. I think they were on for the same amount of goals as they were against 5-on-5. And tonight that changed. Tonight that definitely changed. Velarde, Shifley, and Connor were -3. They were getting hemmed in their zone all night. As I said, they weren't getting offensive chances, so they were giving up the chances, and it wasn't pretty. So, like I said, I don't want to sound the alarm too much. I think this line has a very long leash before they got split up. Before they're going to get split up. Before you're going to see Nick Ehlers play on that top line. I feel like. But I just get it together soon. Start playing faster with the puck. Start making plays. Just start playing and being hard to play against. The last 2 games, this first line was not hard to play against at all. And to be a first line on a Stanley Cup contending team, you need that first line to be producing and being productive and not being a pushover every single night. So, we need those guys to bounce back on Tuesday. So let's do another ad read. We're kind of flying through the show right now. I'm not feeling great. and this night was kind of a bummer. So another ad read here. Game on Winnipeg. I've been saying this all season long. I'm gonna keep doing it in the hopes that we eventually get a game on Winnipeg. So Game Over, what you're listening to right now, has you covered after the game. But in order to get ready to watch the Jets, you've got to get your game on too. So Game On Winnipeg is a short form daily news podcast covering everything you need to know about the Winnipeg Jets, debuting hopefully next week. I say soon. I don't know. Get everything, all your Jets news under 10 minutes from Monday to Friday on the Game Over Winnipeg YouTube channel and in podcast form, which you can find at thegameovernetwork.com/pages/Winnipeg. It's worth checking out for sure. Like we have, I think Winnipeg is the only one that we don't have a game on yet. But every other city has a game on show Monday through Friday on YouTube. Check it out. Check out some of the other pages and what they're up to, and you'll kind of get a glimpse of what we're going to be offering soon. I think Harrison Lee is our Game Over Winnipeg host. If he ever starts doing them, I don't know. He'll have a lot to talk about on Monday if he starts it next week. So we'll see. But yeah, let's move on now. We still got nobody watching, nobody in the comments. If you're out there, please comment. Please show some love. We need it here tonight. I tried to shout out that we're live on Blue Sky and Twitter, but yeah, we got nothing going on in the chat. Jet schedule. Got a really I don't know how the schedule makers kind of drew it up, but the Jets maybe had an easier schedule to start the season, but they're in one now. Kind of a murderer's row. The last Lightning, Utah, and then Colorado, Dallas, Rangers, Lightning, Panthers. It's quite the string of Stanley Cup contending teams. Playing. You really know what a team is when you kind of have to run the gauntlet. Like what the Jets have been doing these past week and a half, and they fared very very admirably until these last couple games. Defeating Tampa, defeating Colorado, defeating Dallas, and the Rangers. Like those are all teams that have long been considered better than the Winnipeg Jets. And in Dallas's case, we whacked them pretty good. Same with New York, Colorado. We had a good performance from Hellebuck that got the win. It's just really been these last couple games where the Jets have maybe they're kind of out of gas. They've been playing every second night for the last 3 weeks, which is a lot. And yeah, after we play Florida on Tuesday night at Canada Life Center, we have another couple of days off, and then I don't want to say the schedule gets easier by any stretch, but it's less. I guess it is. It's just easier. The Jets have Pittsburgh on next Friday, a back-to-back. They played in Nashville on Saturday. Both those games are on the road. And then so is Minnesota, Kings, Vegas, all on the road. That's and then 7. Then they play Dallas again after that. That's 7 straight road games after Tuesday night's game back in Winnipeg. So it's quite the road stand. For the Jets, a lot of time, a lot of time away from home. And you're going to see what they're made of. You're definitely going to see what the Jets can do. It's going to be nice not playing maybe some of these games at least are against, Pittsburgh or Nashville, teams that aren't, above the playoff line yet. But then after that, it gets hard again. Minnesota's really good. LA's really good. Vegas is really good. Dallas is really good. The schedule doesn't really get easier until we get into early December. So these next 2 weeks are very critical, very key for the Jets staying at top of the league, at top of the West, top of the Central. Because if we start losing a string of games, Dallas is on our tail, Minnesota's on our tail. There's teams that are within punching distance. I know the Jets have built, quite a lead for themselves. Going 15-1, but a lot of other Minnesota's 11-2-3 right now. They're having a great season as well. Dallas is 10-5. That's only 5 points behind. In Minnesota's case, they're only 5 points behind the Jets. So you really need to see Winnipeg find their game back fast. We know how important it is finishing, winning your division and getting a wild card team in the first round, as opposed to finishing second or third in the Central and playing the other second or third team. The Jets found that out with Colorado last year. The Jets kind of came into that series, probably as a slight favorite when you looked at how the teams were playing. The Jets beat Colorado. Towards the end of the regular season, the Jets were coming into the playoffs. With an 8-0 record the last 8 games of the season, and the playoffs are a different beast, as we all know, and Winnipeg faltered heavily. So it might be a little bit smarter, a little bit better, and just might be nicer if the Jets were able to win the Central this year and play a wild card team in the first round, and kind of maybe get their feet wet a little bit before they go against the big gun in the playoffs, because playoff hockey is a totally different animal. And it seems the Jets, have not been playing great playoff hockey as of past years. Yeah, I thought we had something in the chat, but no, it's just a message from YouTube. So let's hit another ad read here. Let's put up the merch on the screen, which we love. I'm seeing a lot of our Game Over staff, a lot of our hosts have been kind of repping the Game Over apparel on social media. It looks great. So what better way to support something you love than by rocking it as clothing? Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique designs. Whether you feel the nostalgic pull of our retro design, which is currently on sale, want to wear your love for goalies proudly with our Live and Die by the Goalie design, or if you just need another coffee to get through the winter, we have you covered. Designed by Brady Chalice from Game Over Winnipeg. Use the QR code, which is on the stream now, and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. There's some great stuff. There's a lot of great stuff on there, no doubt. It would make good Christmas gifts, if you got a birthday coming up, maybe, if you just want to have some additional Jets merch, to wear around. I definitely recommend picking some up. They're very reasonably priced. The mugs are great. The hoodies are great. The t-shirts are great. Yeah. Get that off the screen now. We're in overtime now. Is usually the time when we take... Hey, we got a comment. We got a comment. I was just supposed to wrap up the show, but... Adam Fire Bear says, I went to the game in Florida thinking how lucky that I was seeing the top 2 teams in the league, expecting a back and forth game. A little bummed out. Yes, that's exactly, I think, my thoughts and a lot of Jets fans' thoughts as well. I think that we all expected, when 2 top teams are playing, you definitely expect a more back and forth, just a more competitive hockey game, and that's not what we saw. It felt like Florida was playing, a lottery team tonight. So the Jets definitely need to play a lot better than that if they're gonna beat Florida on Tuesday, or just be a competitive hockey team in the National Hockey League, because performances like that are completely unacceptable. So I'm sorry you were at that game, Adam, unless you're a Florida fan, but if you're a Jets fan, yeah, that was a stinker. That was a stinker for sure. We'll be back on Tuesday night. Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, the Jets have the rubber match against Florida back in Winnipeg at Canada Life Center. I will be at that game. I'll be in attendance, hopefully cheering on the Jets to a win. So in my absence, Brendan Labarre will be doing the post-game show. And hopefully he can kind of get some luck going for the Jets, as now we've lost 2 in a row with me doing the shows. So hopefully Brendan can bring some good mojo for the team. I'll try to bring it. I'll be in the building there with my co-host Braden sometimes when he hasn't come on in a while. I know I've been trying to get him back on, but he's been busy. So yeah, the Jets are back in action Tuesday against Florida, 7 o'clock at Canada Life Center. It's a special 20th anniversary night for Canada Life Center since it first opened in 2004. If you're going to the game, I believe the first 5,000 people in attendance will receive a Canada Life Center commemorative coin. So I'll try to get there early and check that out and get a coin. So yeah, so join Brendan after the game ends. I'm going to sign off now. Brendan will be here on the Winnipeg Game Over YouTube channel about 10 to 15 minutes after the final whistle ends. So we hope to see you there. For myself, Ty Dilello at the Game Over Network, and everybody with us. Just want to say thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great night. And kind of fingers crossed the Jets can turn this around and not get a big losing streak on our hands here. So take care, everybody. See you next time. Peace.